Stop.
Fam, what's going on? Ace here with with you, and I have with me the one, the only, the Oracle, the Phoenix, the Medium. How you doing today, Annette?
I am good. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we gotta get the goat on. Come on, cut it out. Thanks for being here. From my Haps family, this is my partner with our company Forever Phoenix. We've been up and running since what, 2014?
As far as as far as the government says, yes.
Yes. Up and running since 2014 and operating out of South Euclid, Ohio. It's a suburb right outside of Cleveland. And Annette here told me one day in a business meeting we'd be partners. I thought she was crazy. And guess what? I'm here with her now. Mike, what's up? Yes, this is my partner. This is the one I was warning you about the other night when me, you, and Eric were talking, and yeah, this is the one that I was warning you guys about. So, Annette, real quick, just share with the Haps family and everybody a little bit about what you do at Forever Phoenix. I feel it should come from you, and so we'll start with that.
All right. Well, what do I do at Forever Phoenix? Everything. Here's what kind of partner Mike wants to know. I don't think I'm gonna answer that yet.
Mike, we're partners in a holistic business that I was telling you about. It's called Forever Phoenix. So we deal with all aspects, all things spiritual. And I'll let Annette speak to what you do so much. Yeah, you speak on. I don't want to miss anything. So just let Mike and everybody else know what you do.
Okay, well, my government title my government title is I am a holistic practitioner. I have about 85 plus certificates under my belt. But my main focus is one, I'm a Reiki master teacher, which is one of my true passions. And I also do life coaching, I do sound therapy, um, and the list goes on, aromatherapy. Um, Depending on when a client comes to me, depending on how they want to tap into who they truly are, depends on which modality that I use. And that's why I have so many under my belt. I believe that not one thing can help everyone. And as I continue to evolve and grow in my spirituality, I'm finding that there's so much that we don't know about who we truly are. And so, as you know, Ace, you're always asking me why am I always in school? And that's why I'm in school is because I truly believe that if you go on the inside and tap into the power within, there's nothing that we can't do. Um, I believe that everybody can heal themselves. I believe that if you tap into what I tell my clients, I call the family. And what I mean by the family is there's so many aspects of who we are inside. A lot of people have been taught, the ego is bad. There's the ego, but there's also an unhealed ego. And the unhealed ego is just the aspect of who we are that holds the trauma that we've gone through in our lifetime, holds the pain, holds the different things that have been said about us. But that aspect of us can be healed. And so there's different ways of healing that, and depending on the person and how they want to tap into their inner self, depends on how I actually work with my clients.
And Mike, to answer your question, you said what kind of partner? No, this is a real business. If you look at her name, the Oracle, where you definitely want to follow her there. We got the logo and everything. We have the office. Yeah, it's a real business. And servicing, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of clients since 2014. Um, and we've touched a lot of lives. So if you're into tuning forks, if you're into Reiki, if you're into healing, if you're into oils, if you're into meditation, if you're into what am I missing in that? A whole
Actually, if
lot.
you're, yeah, well, if you're into wanting to be your authentic self, that's what we deal with on all aspects of that.
Right. So yeah, this has been a journey for us. Yeah, it started way before 2014. I kept running from her from doing this, and then I remember she called me. No, she texted me one Sunday. It was like, meet me at the park. And I'm like, oh, SHIT. And drove out there. And this entire idea was birthed, I think, on a bench, on a picnic bench, one of those sitting benches. And um, we never looked back.
Right.
So, so that's where we are. So I wanted to bring Annette on today to introduce her to the entire family, um, and get to know, so you guys can get to know her. And I'm not the only crazy one. I'm probably crazier than her, but she's a different type of crazy. And wanted to introduce her to the family. You can also find Forever Phoenix if you go to if you go to Facebook, just put Forever Phoenix. The entire page will come up. You'll see a lot of the work that Annette does there, and you can also reach out. Now, you're booked through what? I don't think anybody can get in to see you till when?
January.
The beginning of January, or just
No, the end of January.
okay? So you can't even get an appointment with her until the end of January. So February 2022 is the soonest you can get an appointment with her. So, and I'm not taking. Some people have tried to consult with me. I'm not. I got too many things going on that I gotta work through. So Annette, switching gears. I know you wanted to talk about some things today. I'll give the floor to you, lady.
Well, I wanted to talk about self reflection. Um, and as we wind up 2021, I always, around this time of the year, I always do a self reflection, which is an understanding of where I'm at now and where I want to go next year. And that's in all aspects of who I am, as far as physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and Forever Phoenix also. And so I'm finding that a lot of people um, live in the past, that they can't move forward because as soon as they bring up a trauma that happened to them, say when they were 5 or 6 years old, that trauma becomes alive in their lives right now. And at some point, we have to decide for our own self, evaluate and reflect on who do I want to be right now and stay in the present of who we are. Because if you keep living in the past, you'll never get to today. We always reflect on yesterday, but Life is about living right now. And things that have happened to, I'll just use myself as an example, to me in my past. Um, at one point, I did a very deep dive into who I want to be and who I am. And I asked the questions. I went through a list of questions. And in doing that, I had to be truly honest with me. Wasn't about anybody else, but I had to be honest with myself. And I had to decide what my core values and beliefs was for me now. In the past, I believe different things that we were taught by the church, that we were taught by our parents, the school. Different things were said and taught to us, and we have those belief systems. But those belief systems no longer are who I am now. And because of that, I had to determine, is this good for me now? And if it wasn't, I felt that feeling of what that past felt like, and then I determined, is this good for me right now? And if the answer was no, then I went through a process of loving myself unconditionally enough to say, I'm going to let this go because I need to live my full, authentic life now in who I am now and not in yesterday.
That makes a lot of sense. I was talking to someone yesterday that kept bringing up their past, and I think what a lot of people struggle with in that is getting rid of it, like
Mm-hmm.
mentally, emotionally, energetically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think some of it has to do with forgiveness. Some people don't know how to
Exactly.
forgive themselves. They don't know how to go about that. They think it's corny, or that's not stuff that's taught. You're taught to just deal with things. Um, you're taught to just hold things in and keep holding them, and you don't understand that these things affect you in your energetic system, and then they turn physical. So I think a lot of people struggle with that, and they struggle with letting go. They struggle with creating new thoughts. They struggle with creating a new path for themselves within their identity.
Well, I believe that the reason they struggle is another belief system because that's what we were taught we're supposed to do,
Correct.
you know,
Well, then the
and
struggle is part of life.
exactly, keep the struggle alive,
Right.
and keeping the struggle alive means keeping your past alive,
Okay.
and for forgiveness, you know, we have to come to a point in our lives where, for myself, I said, I don't care what nobody else thinks. I don't care what nobody else says to me. I am going to heal myself from my trauma in the past, and I'm going to forgive myself the way that my family, which is all inside of me, leads me to do that. In order for me to do that, I had to start with unconditional love for myself.
What's your definition of unconditional love?
For me, unconditional love is accepting all of me, all the good, the bad, the ugly, accepting that and not judging it, not criticizing myself, not putting myself down, but loving myself through all of this process versus beating myself up about it. I could, oh, I should have did this, I should have did that. Well, what does that get me? That get me another pain. And so when I make a mistake, I recognize, I feel it, but then I move forward because I know that everything inside of me is going to be okay if I believe in me.
Cool. Treese, Treese gonna text me talking about open those eyes looking like you sleep. I am not sleep. I want to scare you guys. Ooh. I got you, lady. My eyes are open and I'm not asleep. Thank you for being here, though. Let me check and see who else we got on Facebook real quick, Annette. See if we got any questions there. Um, do I look sleep? I don't look sleep. And look at Mike. Mike just inviting everybody. Appreciate that, sir. Coach Pearson, thanks for being here. Michael Ann, thanks for being here. Treese, thanks for being here. So, Annette, let me ask you this then. I so let's say that I am an alcoholic. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Okay. So my issue is I use alcohol as a distraction. I've been doing this, let's say the last 10 years, just drinking. Okay. So walk me through some of the steps. I've hit rock bottom. Walk me through some of the steps that you would use in this case to help me work out of this situation.
Well, the first question is, do you want to come out of the situation?
Yeah, I do. I've hit rock bottom, but I'm dealing with all this SHIT. I've got the physical stuff I'm dealing with the drinking, and I've got all these other traumas that I don't know what to do with. So walk me through some of the beginning steps that you would have me go through.
Well, for me, the first thing I'm gonna do is put you on my table.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to do the Reiki. I'm going to do the Holy Fire Reiki. I'm going to do the tuning forks. I'm going to do sound therapy. I'm going to do what I do on the table. Reason being, when I'm doing that, I'm allowing, let me have it plain. I'm allowing the body, the authentic self of who you are, to release all negative things that you've picked up that don't even belong to you. And so I'm going to start there because a lot of times we're carrying everybody else's stuff
Right.
and we can't even get to our stuff until we start releasing the stuff from everybody else, because we've been taught that you take care of everybody else before you take care of yourself. So your baggage, half of your baggage and maybe even more than that, is possibly not even yours,
Right.
because everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy, everybody else's energy. And I've got to start with clearing you out first. That's where I start at. And from there, then we can have a conversation and we can talk about where do you want to go from there? How do you want to go from there? And I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on you and your alcohol. That's not what you're here for. I'm going to spend the time as far as understanding what do you really want, by asking different questions, by having different comments, having you do different things. So my focus is not on what's wrong with you, because when you focus on what's wrong with you, then what do people do?
Right.
And so I start with removing the negative energy that you have, that you're attached with. And then from there, we start with just day one. Okay, where do we want to go from here? And am I going to tell you that drinking is bad or good? No, that's not my job. That's not what I'm here for. I am going to help you tap into your authentic self, because the authentic self is who is actually going to talk with me to help guide you, because everybody is different. So, what I'm going to do for one person is not going to be the same, but I have to be willing to listen and to hear from that still small voice that's inside of you on how I need to guide you,
And the
because
reason,
the help
no,
that
go on.
you need is within you.
Yeah, and the reason why I brought up an extreme case is because I've met individuals that feel like they're so far gone. And
Hmm.
no, there's no such thing as if you wake up every day and your heart is beating, you're not far gone at all.
Right.
Um, and Eric, thanks for being here. When I was on the line with Eric and Mike a couple nights ago, I think we did a 3 hour broadcast. And it was funny because Mike was like, Eric, what do you think about Ace? So Eric is narrating, what he's feeling as he's talking through, what he feels from me. And he said something really profound to me. He said, Ace has been experiencing some very deep things, but it just made his upside even that much higher. And I think that's true for a lot of us. It's
Hmm.
it's not a measurement about how far you fall. It's about how
Right.
you can really raise up and rise above it all. And those experiences, the worst of it, whether it's a drug addiction, whatever the ailment is, whatever it is, those are opportunities not only to learn as you get better, but to be a blessing
Hmm.
to someone else. I remember during a meditation, at one of the lowest points in my experience, I just flat out asked, like, why the hell am I going through all this stuff? And very clearly, the voice came through and said, you can't help nobody if you ain't been through nothing.
Hmm.
So my ability to relate to individuals that I work with and individuals that I help has come from the very mere fact of my colorful past and everything that I've been through. And so when someone says they've been through A, B, C, D, and E, I can relate to them. But like you said, let's not focus on what you've been through. Let's focus more on where you're going, who you're being today, because this is the only moment that we have. So yeah, you bring up some good points there.
One thing that you know, I love my clients. You know, because when they come to me, they know that when they walk into Forever Phoenix, number one, they know they're safe. They know they're not going to be judged. And they know that they can be who they are. And that's half the ball game. Where can you go where you're not going to be judged, you're not going to be criticized, you're not going to be put down? Where can you go where you come into a place and they walk in the door and they go, oh, it smells so good in here. I've got the aromatherapy going, the diffusers going, I've got the salt lamps in the room. And so, be when you walk into this space, I've created a sanctuary for when you come in, when you walk in the door, you're going to start healing automatically
Automatically. Yep.
because of everything. I've got the love of Reiki going through there. I've got, music that's playing. I'm a big YouTube fan when it comes to energy and frequency. So I constantly play vibrations in here. So when people come in, they know that they're in a safe place. And that leads me to what Forever Phoenix was created for in the first place. And I remember saying to you that we need to create, and I called it Xavier's Place.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, what? I was like, no, we need to create a campus. And you was like, okay, and that, there she goes again, way in La La Land. And I love being in La La Land. I mean, I'm really comfortable there. And so Xavier's Place to me is, I'm a mutant fan. I'm a X-Man fan. So that's where it actually came from. But me being, I've said all my life I'm an alien. I say that people just know. And I want to create a space where people like me, where people like you, who have gifts, who can go somewhere where they can be loved, they can be supported, and they can come in there and they can practice their gifts and they can meditate. They can do the things they need to do, not be judged, and just see what's inside of them. And so, that's what Forever Phoenix is about, to give anybody who is looking for an opportunity to be all of who they are and practice their gifts and come forward, tap into all of the consciousness that's in them, and not feel like, oh, what's somebody going to say? No, we all going to be on the same page. And so it's time for people to stop worrying about what other people are going to say
Right.
and start being who they truly are, because the planet needs our gifts.
Yeah. I think authenticity is where we're going. And I think that last year created an explosion kind of, an explosion energetically where people are
Mhm.
now getting to know themselves for the first time. Like, who the hell am I?
Right.
And I was just thinking back to the one character, I won't, no names please, that I sent to the office, and you know who I'm talking about, hardcore everything. And he walked in there and everything else collapsed. The being hard, the over physical mannerism, the I will hurt you, all of that just dropped. And that's just the energy that the Forever Phoenix space creates for any individual. I don't care who you are. When you walk in there, it's almost as if when you walk through the door, it's almost that everything that doesn't need to come in stays out, and the authentic you walks in. And hell, that's happened with me a number of times where I might have had something on my mind, or I was in the wrong energy state, and as soon as I walked through the door, something shifted, you know, or I might come in there and sit down and everything shifted. And that's the energy that we're really teaching people about. The energy is real. The invisible is actually more real than the physical. The physical is the
Right.
end destination, but there's a bunch of mystical magic in the invisible that I feel that a lot of us as human beings are
Mhm.
now starting to understand and tap into, like literally how powerful it is. I
Right.
remember when my fingers started pulsating for the first time. I think I called you. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
hell
you
is
were.
going on? Like what is this? Like, and I mean, with it happening simultaneously, I was like, what on earth? And that's in all of us. It's not
Right.
like
Right.
some special thing. That's in every one of us. It's
Mm-hmm.
just about us putting ourselves individually in that state to experience it and to bring it out of us, because you're right, each one of us has a gift to contribute to humanity.
Yeah. It's funny because I see Eric's comment. He says, "Love the name Forever Phoenix," and I remember when we were looking for a name, and I decided I was going to do a contest, and I was going to give away a Reiki session to whoever came up with the name that resonated with me, and it was you.
I didn't get the Reiki session though.
You don't start, don't
I
start.
don't remember getting a Reiki session. I think I was in Albany. I was out of town, right? I think
Yeah,
I was
you
in
were.
Albany, New York on business. And I think I just came out of a restaurant. I don't know if it was before or after. And yeah, Forever Phoenix came, and I'm like, Forever Phoenix. I'm like, what the what? I know this is a PG channel today, but I'm like, what on earth, Forever Phoenix? I just sent it to you, just
Right.
expecting you to be like, nah, no thanks. And um, and it took a minute for that to grow on me too, because I thought it
Yeah,
was
it
all
did. Yeah.
girly. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you thought it
Forever,
was
I
all
want to be
girly and
affiliated with
stuff. Yeah.
Forever Phoenix. Like,
Yeah.
that's so girly. Like, that
Right.
wasn't Ace at all, but we went with it, and it's
Yeah.
worked out perfectly.
And for me, that definition is the phoenix is forever. We die to our past, we die to things that don't serve us anymore, and we rise again. and
Mm-hmm.
we die and we evolve again. And so for me, when you sent me that name, I was like, that's it. Because we are always evolving, we are always changing. And if you really understand what the the phoenix does and the fire of the phoenix, for me with the holy fire Reiki, they just go hand in hand. And so Forever Phoenix is everybody who comes to us and knows us, because they're always improving who they are. They're always letting go of the old and they're rising up to the new. And we continue to evolve and make changes. And so, oh my goodness, you know, it's another thing where people can understand, yes, you can be an alcoholic and you can rise again. You can be sad or you can be whatever, but you can always, always rise up again and be who you truly are, because it's inside of us. Everything we need is inside of us. It's just a matter of tapping into it.
And you talk about how the universe works. When that name came to me, in that, I had no understanding at that time what the hell the Phoenix was about. Like, no clue. I mean, the name just came through, and it wasn't until you explained, I'm like, okay, I'm like, yeah, I think you had to drag me along with the
I
name for the
did.
first couple years, but
Yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect sense now. But back in 2014, when we're talking through this, because I really feel that this whole Forever Phoenix concept and what we put together was kind of like before its time,
Yeah.
and so even back in those days, I was learning and evolving through some things. So when the name came through, it made absolutely no sense. Like, Forever Phoenix, like, but look at it now, the
Yeah.
meaning is taken on a life of its own, and what you just described makes perfect sense. I want to read this comment from Eric Hypes. I was just thinking about doing a broadcast about, is that me X generation, Generation X, and bringing Xavier because of his ability with telepathy to connect. So cool to hear you speak. Yes, Eric, yes. And that's I told Annette it was yesterday. I said you and
Mm.
Eric would just
Yeah.
Eric, I told her, I said you and Eric would just come together. Um, so yeah, we need to do some collabs, and I think because of the internet, and then I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, through Mike, I've met some wonderful people here on Haps. Eric's one of them. Mike, James, just some really, really good people. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted Annette to come on here, because I believe the work that we do is global.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have a local office here in Ohio that people can come and touch us and feel the environment. But Annette is doing Reiki sessions and certifying people online. There's just so much that we can do, because of technology and where it is. And I feel that we are all kind of like assigned to one another. And I mean, what, I started broadcasting here a couple months ago, not really knowing what to expect, and look at where it's grown. And we want to do some things to really help people. So Eric, yeah, we'd love to do a show with you. Collab. I actually would like to just watch you and Annette do a show, because and that he's got some stuff in his arsenal as well, doing mediumship and clearing out spirits. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not walking in no haunted house. Um, I haven't graduated to that part of the work yet, but it would be really interesting to see you guys, just what you bring to the table and some other things as we move forward. So you got some more time, or are you good for the day? I don't know how your days the rest of the day. Are you good, or you got to go?
I have a 2 o'clock.
I have a 2 o'clock. Yeah, I didn't get my Reiki session, so I'm gonna need you to. We're gonna have to put that on the calendar. I
you
didn't
know,
know
you
you. I
you
didn't.
don't want to get you don't want to go up against some of my clients. You met my little Geordie yesterday, my
Yeah, the
little wolf
Gemini.
mama.
Yeah.
you
You
know.
blame me for
But
locking
no,
you in the bathroom.
I appreciate you, having me on, Ace. What we do, December 4th, Camila and I are doing a workshop here in Cleveland, Awakening the Divine Feminine. And I kept going back and forth with it because I just came off of from August up until last week. I've done 2 to 3 Reiki classes a weekend. So I had actually said December I was going to take a break, certifying people in whether it's Reiki 1, Reiki 2, or even Holy Fire Master. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. And Camila was like, did you ask Ace about the space? Did you ask Ace about the space? And so I asked you, and you said yes. And so she said, okay, well, I guess we're doing a workshop now. And I've been looking at 2022 and what energy that we're looking at and moving forward. And the feminine energy is very powerful coming into 2022. However, we have got to release old things that no longer serve us. We've got to understand that we walk in an unconditional love that is so powerful within us. And we have got to be able to tap into who we truly are. And so that's what the workshop we're going to do. And the other thing that keeps coming up as I've been looking at 2022 is sexuality, and how we do not know how to relate to the power that we have inside of us through our sexuality. So this is some of the things that we're going to be talking about in the workshop because we have male and female inside of us. Energetically, that's what we are. And it's time to tap into that. It's time to tap into that creativity that's been so dormant inside of us, those gifts that are dormant inside of us. And so for me, it is so time to just tap into that power. I placed on the Forever Phoenix page, and I keep talking to all my clients about it. But there's a book that I'm having, the women that I know. It's called the Pussy Prayer. And people go, what? Yeah, there's some power, in who we are. And so it's time to tap into that. So we're going to be doing workshop periodically doing next year. We're starting on the 4th to tap into who we truly are and wake her up.
And that's part of the message that I had yesterday in my video, because I'm just warning you guys, we're going to be coming with some stuff that your mouth will probably hit the ground. You will pick it up after you understand what's going on, but yeah, there's some things that we need to talk about that have been taboo, and sexuality is one of them. I've been working on a sexuality
Mhm.
series, Annette and I keep talking about it, and it's just time. It's like we're all adults, and people want to keep this three-letter word be in the closet, in the bedroom, in the dark. And we need to talk about it. And I think there's a female perspective, I think there's a male perspective, but it's also understanding, because a lot of how we view our sexuality, a lot of it has to do with, again, programming, how we were
Right.
raised, what we saw, how sexuality works in relationships, this, that, and the other. There's just so many sides to it. And yeah, this is one of the things that I feel that we really need to tackle going into next year, because it is an aspect of who we are, you know. But since we were a kid, that part of it we were taught to shut down. If a little kid is playing with himself or exploring his own body or her own body, they're what? Chastised, right? They're beaten down. They're like yelled at, they're punished. And what happens is, when you're punished by the people that you love for something that's so innocent, just imagine the ripple effect that that has as you're growing up. and how you relate to others, how you relate to yourself, how do you relate to yourself as far as your self love. So, um, yeah, we're gonna rip the band-aid off that scar that I think 99% of people walking on the planet have. So, and then I
But you
just
know,
want to
it's
read.
funny, Ace. Sex is how we got here, as Eric is saying here. You know, and the other thing is we've not been taught, and I think it's been a divine plan that we've not been taught about the creative energy in our sexuality. I think that's a divine plan. You know, it's time now, okay, rip off the band aid because 2022, oh, it's about the creative energy and it's about the divine plan that's been inside of us all of this time. So it's time to wake up.
Uh-oh, I think I just made a mistake.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh, I think I blocked Eric by mistake. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't. I did something goofy, and yes, that's what I did. I am so sorry, Eric. I was trying to close the window, and instead, I got to figure out how to change that. That was my bad, Eric. I apologize. I have to fix that. Eric, I just invited you just on for a few minutes before I got to let Annette go. But if I block him, he probably doesn't even know. Oh boy. Mike, you're going to have to help me learn how to unblock Eric. Oh, I just unblocked you. Woo! Eric, I am so sorry. I blocked you by mistake. I just unblocked you, sir. Total mistake. That's what I get for not being technical savvy. Um, Sorry about that, Annette. I'm trying to work through this. Ah, thank you, Rick. That's exactly what I did. I went, oh, cool. Eric, you're back. You know what? Do you want to come on for a few minutes? Annette, you got 10 more minutes?
Sure.
I know the client might be walking in the door. Eric, can you come on for a few minutes? Yeah, just before a few minutes. I sent you an invite already. Let me make sure. Let me click this. Mike has taught me how to do this. Let me see. I'm going to do another one. Let's see here. Eric, do you have the invite? Annette, you like my opening song? Did you like that? I try to do something all smooth and cool for you.
No
Why are you looking at
comment.
me like that? You talking about no comment? That's Yellowstone. Kevin Costner. I think he plays the rich cowboy. You
Well,
haven't watched that series?
no,
Da-na-na-na.
no singing. He said
Eric, I
no
just sent it
invite.
to you again.
No invite yet.
Check and see if you got it now. What am I doing wrong? It says it has invited on it. I wonder if it's because no, you're back in the chat line.
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully he's able to come on. I think he has to click it and I just add him. Ah.
I'm just going along for the ride, people.
Oh no, you're good. This is broadcasting. This is a new platform. People understand. We keep you
Okay.
entertained.
Mhm.
Is that Smoothie King you're sipping on?
Mhm. Yep.
Eric, did you get the invite yet? If not, I'm going to do it over. Ah, there we
There
go.
we
Something
go.
just. Oh, hold on one second. Bam! Three, two, one. Coming live. My man, Eric Hypes in the house. Eric, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Let me. I guess it'll help if you can see me.
There
Here
we
we go.
go. Eric, this is the Oracle. Annette, this is Eric.
Hi, Eric. It's so nice to meet you.
So good to meet you. I'm loving the vibes here that y'all got in the sacred space you've created.
Yeah, it's been a long time just changing. The energy changes every day for us, so we just keep moving forward and just enjoying the exploration of what the next minute is going to bring to us.
So,
Absolutely.
so you know what, Eric? I don't know if you watched. I don't think you came at the beginning of the broadcast, but real quick, just share with Annette and all the other listeners a little bit about what you do. I know it's
Um.
a long list.
Yeah. The short and sweet of it is, I am like you all. I was born very much awake, and like Annette's saying here, this is all divine plan. And I shut myself down at 2.5 years old to all of my abilities because of fear of
Mhm.
what people would think, fear of dealing with the unknown, what you can't really go to school about because the only choice you have to is to go by yourself, to go to
Mhm.
that spiritual school, to go within, which I feel like is part of the plan, the divine plan. And so there are those of us like these here beautiful souls that have been doing that work and are ready to open up schools like what uh, that's talking about, the whole Xavier School, the whole, you know, for the gifted, and it's not to put anybody on a pedestal. Like I said, that's all of us. But I feel like we have to not know ourselves to really be able to appreciate ourselves.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah,
Yeah.
we come here not knowing to rediscover ourselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So, Eric, I knew you had an appointment where you had to clear out some spirits or something in the house. Did you get to that, or is that coming up still?
Yeah, I did that. It's kind of an ongoing thing. Just they come to me but that one was in particularly pivotal or powerful because that was one of my first reoccurring dreams that gave me the inclination that would be part of my life's journey.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting, interesting, interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
so
hey,
when it came
Eric.
in, I'd been doing it for a couple years with places, and I had dreams about them. But then when she came on board several months ago, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the dream that started it all. So it was like that come around full circle, or not full circle, because like she said, the oracle said, we're always growing and coming back around. But it was definitely a nine, the number of completion in a way. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Eric, I just wanted you to know that my heart chakra and my ajna is like leaping for joy. Just
Uh,
so yes, I just needed you to know that. I mean, people.
I definitely feel it. I definitely feel it. I feel like a big release or opening with the heart,
Hmm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
the ajna has kind of got like that pressure, but it's not like a bad pressure. It's more like
Right.
a activation kind of pressure.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
both are gonna make me cry. I don't want to cry on here. Like, I don't know. My eyes are swelling up. Like, the Ace Man can't be crying on screen. Like, what's that about? Cut it out. You need to.
All about vulnerability. Yeah, beautiful.
Exactly. Say that again.
It's all about the vulnerability.
That's for
That's
sure.
where real power comes from. And I think that's, like what y'all are talking about here, the sacred sexuality, and truly being able to be vulnerable, our today's society. And I think, as you were saying, it's part of the divine plan. It's kind of put us all into this, either we're ignorant about it or we're coming at it from the whole top
Mhm.
down view where it's from the opposite view, a very negative. It's all about the physical. It's all about the sexuality, but the sacred sexuality, the power that, like you're talking about, that you have within inside you, the feminine and the masculine. And once you can balance those two, once they can work together, once they can, co-create, then whoa.
Yeah.
Once you know the woo is inside you, oh, the things you can do.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. That's
And you
for
know what?
sure.
I think the other aspect of sexuality that we miss is that the energy within itself can be channeled into our passion and our purpose as well.
Yes.
And people are clueless to that because you think sexuality, you only think one thing, and that's the physical. Like, yeah, we let me just get it, but we don't think about the other aspect of the entire picture of what, like you were saying, Eric, sacred sexuality and what that means for the totality of our beingness. And I
Mhm.
think this is going to be real cool. Um, it's going to be real cool navigating. Well, it is 1:53. Annette, I know you have a 2 p.m. Eric, thank you for your time. I just wanted to bring you on here for a few minutes. Annette, we're going to be back here next week, right? Tell everybody on the platform.
I have to look at my schedule.
We'll be back. No, we'll
Yes.
be back. We're gonna do this, even if
In the
it may not be an
evening. I
hour.
can
It
do
may not be
evening.
an hour, but
Yeah.
we'll figure out a way. And then yeah, Eric, we'll have to figure out a way how to collab. Definitely, I don't know if you've already followed Annette at the Oracle.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, now you guys know each other. Just don't conspire to do anything and come visit me in my room at night or anything like that. I don't want to wake up and both you guys are hovering over my bed and looking at me. Don't do that to me, please. But
I make no promises.
so, but Eric, thanks for sharing some of your time with us. Annette, thank you as always, and thank you for everybody else that's been here, whether you're on here on Haps, Facebook, YouTube, replay viewers. We want to welcome. Thank you all for being here. Want to wish you all a happy holiday. If
Yes.
that's what you do, peace, love, and blessings, love and respect, and we look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Eric.
Much love, Annette. Thank you, Ace.